Because I also remember some time ago, long before we started doing this, you had made a video talking about why you thought electric cars were a silly idea.
Yes! I eventually did make a video repealing that, though.
You did! But my goodness, did that video age like sour milk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Macker from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha Wolf.
And, okay, I gotta get out of this, note, or it accidentally full screen on me, so I had to get rid of it that way. Okay, we got that, I guess I should start off with a disclaimer that I am currently sick right now, flu type B. I am getting better from it, though, and in fact, I am more than likely returning to school tomorrow, so I am getting better from it.
You sound a lot better than your videos that you've uploaded as of a few days ago.
Yeah, no, now granted it is nighttime, so it probably will, in fact, my voice will probably sound worse as the episode goes on. I've been coughing so much that my stomach muscles are starting to hurt a little bit from it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's been going on. But yeah, I finally woke up this morning without a fever for the first time since I got this. Actually, the first sign was on last Thursday night after we started recording, because that's when I started getting really chilly. But yeah, nonetheless, I've been recovering pretty steadily. Alpha will be glad to know that I'm probably never getting a flu shot again.
So now you think they're a scam just like me? Probably should. Well, I mean...
Yeah.
I hate saying this because people are so sensitive on this topic. It's just, I'm only going to speak for myself. The flu shot does not work. From what I've seen in my personal experience, all it does is the complete opposite of what you think it's supposed to do.
Exactly.
When you have 1 year where you go to school and everybody is homesick with the flu, and they're the people who got the flu shot, and the only people who aren't sick are the people who didn't get the flu shot. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm beginning to think that's more luck of why I didn't get sick, because I have flu type B, and I'm pretty sure it's just as badly as it would have been if I had not gotten a shot anyway. A flu shot that I was late to an episode of TI recording episode of this show because of getting that flu shot, by the way. But yeah, I'm so glad. But yeah, just if it was a one time guaranteed flu shot that would basically be a near perfect guarantee that they wouldn't get the flu, like a rabies shot or a mumps shot, then I would be all on board for a flu shot if it was just one time, or even like one to get once as a baby, then like even one booster when you're 12, like even that would work. But yeah, no, we're getting one flu shot every year. It's not even working. It's just, I know now that's a scam.
Yeah, and the reason why I've been able to come to this conclusion is because, I mean, for one, vaccines, there's no point to vaccines. They're a great thing. Great technology. I'm trying to steer it back to technology because this is a tech podcast. But no, it is a great thing. That's how we've gotten over so many other diseases. Polio, the plague. Vaccines are a great thing. But the problem is, I think the way our medical industry, at least here in the U.S., works, it's way too money incentivized versus general people's health and well-being incentivized.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about the medical system, and that is why, for the most part, I am not quick to go to any doctors or go to the ER. I seek out people who won't freak out or charge $1 million, but it's just I'm not quick to trust any doctor, even if they have a diploma, because the problem is the way the medical system here in the U.S. at least, and it's kind of the case elsewhere too, but the way it works is it just seems way too money incentivized, financial incentivized, instead of general people's health and well-being incentivized, and that is my biggest problem with it, and that is why I am very disinclined to trust the vaccines.
Exactly. Like the last time I went to a doctor for an illness was in May of 2019 or June 2019. It was either at the very tail end of May or very early June 2019. I haven't been back to the doctor since, just because I just haven't had anything that was necessarily worth it. Like, even like if I really need to get a doctor's note for something, then we can usually get one via telehealth anyway, so that's not a problem. And even so, now, granted, and even so, it's just that most of the time now, like, I know what I have. Like, there's not really anything that doctor, like, most of the stuff I've gotten has just been simple stuff that's been easy enough to take care of without a doctor. Now, there are some exceptions to me going to the doctor. Like, technically, a dentist is a doctor, and obviously, I've been to a dentist. Otherwise, my teeth would be rotting. And obviously, I had to visit a dermatologist to get that massive third eye on my forehead removed, also known as a cyst.
Yeah.
That's what one of my commenters called it, and honestly, that commenter was not wrong.
It's kind of funny.
I'm so glad that thing is finally gone.
No, yeah, it's always good to get that stuff taken care of. But I mean, I legitimately do not remember the last time I've been to the doctor's.
Like, I feel it's
the only time I go to a clinic is probably the last time I went was when my sister was born. That was probably the last time I've ever stepped foot in a hospital. Yep. But nonetheless, I think we should start getting into the news because, oh my, dude, this week was insane.
This was the perfect week to miss school, honestly, for the most part, because I had so much press releases to talk about that I was hardly ever bored. But yeah, first of all, Alpha, you got Starlink activated, right?
Well, it's mounted, but it's not activated, and that's because we have to finish fishing the wire through the walls to get everything hooked up. The problem is we have to go into the attic, and due to I guess according to my dad, there's a roost of bats living in the attic.
Like in most attics.
Yeah. Due to that, he is really not fond of bats. Like he's not afraid of that many things, but bats would be one of the things he's afraid of. So.
All right. Sounds like you need to.
He does not like going in the attic if he doesn't have to. I've never been in the attic myself, but I'd have no idea where I'm going. So. And ultimately, I don't know where it's legal to route wires and cables. So, building codes are a thing. So that's his specialty. So at some point he has to do that. But then again, also he's in his 50s. It's a bit rough for him to get on his hands and knees like that and crawl through an attic just to route some wire. So. But I assure you, this is not going to be on the list of unfinished projects.
We'll see.
Because Mom legitimately needs this. We legitimately need this. So, it's not going to be on the list of unfinished projects. It's just right now, we're waiting for him to just get up in the attic so he can drill some more holes and fish wire through wherever it needs to go.
Yeah. There's been some times when I've seen bats in my backyard, and I might be misremembering this, but I think like some of my family members might have even held some at one point. I don't know. I don't think I've held one, but we've gotten close to them, so we've gotten to see it. They were outside bats. None of us contracted any diseases from them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's the current status with Starlink, but it is mounted on the roof, not too far from where my head is, actually.
Want me to include an image of it in post?
Sure, I guess you could.
Alright, well...
frames again. What the heck? Why is the frame rate so bad?
What frame rate?
On my OBS recording. It's doing 15 FPS.
Sounds like an issue that you need to take care of.
She's overheating, that's why. Yeah, I think the iMac's gonna be done. I can't deal with these overheating issues anymore. All it's doing right now is recording a 1080p 30 FPS video. That's all it's supposed to do, and it can't even hit 30. It's at half the frame rate.
Is this going to be noticeable? Oh, you're right. This will be noticeable in post.
Yeah. So. Sorry, viewers. You'll have to deal with the bad frame rate for now. But no, I'm just about done with this. So I'm probably going to make a video at some point explaining my ownership, and I'll probably just get it listed and sold. Which would be great because I could really use the cash for other things.
Shaw. Exactly, but do you have anything more to say about Starlink, or shall I move on to our next topic?
All I have on Starlink. There's nothing else left, so.
Alright, well, we have what looks like we got some idiot awards going, so we need to check out these idiot awards. At least we got one. What are the... trying to find it.
I'm not seeing any.
Oh, these are on Friday. This is one that's from Friday, but this one guy commented right here on my Logitech Lift for Mac unboxing video that I made back in 2022. October 2022 specifically. One guy commented, question, does it come with a receiver that goes into USB-C Apple products, or is it only with Bluetooth? And I replied, if it includes a receiver, it is in the video. And then he replied, "Dear iTunes fanboy, I watched the video, but I didn't see it. That is why I asked. Possibly you didn't film that segment or edit it." And I replied, "If a receiver was included, I would have featured it in the video. Because why would I edit out something that comes with a product? The whole point of an unboxing is to see what all comes with the product."
Yeah, and you'd think a USB's... Typically, when you're unboxing a mouse, the primary thing you especially want to talk about, one of the key things to talk about is how do you connect it to your computer? Is it Bluetooth, or is it a wireless receiver, or is it one of those stupid, forbidden corded mice? But, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, other than that, it seems like the last idiot award I found is just my sister learning about static electricity.
Oh, yeah.
We're not featuring that.
Yeah, I was about to say I figured we weren't. That would probably get us banned from YouTube if we did that.
She's just rubbing herself on the couch and just going over to the light switch, shocking herself.
What? How is the light switch not? Why is the light switch shocking her?
It's grounded. She's charging herself up with static electricity by rubbing all over the couch, and then when she walks over to the light switch, she discharges herself because the light switch is grounded.
So you're telling me if I rubbed myself on the chair and then went over to that light switch, I could shock myself?
In theory, yes, depending on how fuzzy your chair is.
Well, I'm not going to test that.
It's not that bad, actually. It's not that bad of a shock, but...
I'm sure it isn't, but I I already have Flu Type B. I don't exactly want to test that out anymore.
But yeah, that's a thing. So it's just she just kept doing it over and over and over again. Like, why? Because I'm sitting on the couch trying to type up a script. So.
And I saw your little sister also wears glasses.
Yeah. She was actually so opposed to getting them. She said she didn't want to get glasses because then she'll look like a nerd. So I guess I'm a nerd, ladies and gentlemen.
So we're... Yeah, I guess you are a nerd. I guess you're a nerd, and I'm cool.
I mean, it takes three different traits to be a nerd. You need to be smart, you need to be obsessed, and you need to be socially awkward.
There's only one thing you're excluding, though, which is the glasses.
That too. Because if you don't have all three, well, then you're not a nerd. But nonetheless, what's next? Oh, yeah, let's get into some tech stuff. What show is this again?
This is the iTunes Fanboy Podcast, and we don't have any topics about iTunes, because, to be honest, I don't even like my own channel name, but,
Nonetheless, iPhone 17e.
Well, or as the iPhone 17 Air, as Sam Tucker from Sam Time called. That was a really loud motorcycle passing by my house.
Some I've heard some YouTubers call it the iPhone 17e.
Yeah.
Like teeny tiny.
The iPhone 17e, I'll say this, I'm glad MagSafe is on it, but it's otherwise kind of surprised that Dynamic Island did come to it, but I'm not too disappointed. But I mean, it's still, the iPhone 17 is still a phone that I'll recommend most people because it's a great option for people, especially because most people are going to prefer to buy brand new over used anyway. But at the same time,
it's kind of interesting because you did not say the same about the 16e last year.
I didn't?
I don't think. I think I was pro Team 16e and you were not.
I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look at my first impressions video of the 16e.
I mean,
but yeah, no.
I don't fully remember myself, but I thought that you weren't. I thought you were complaining it was too expensive and they cut too much out of it.
No, I don't. Drew from Tailosive Tech did. In fact,
that
he said
I know for I
yeah,
know that
because
for a fact.
I made an entire video replying to his video about the iPhone 16 versus 15. It's no brainer.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe you changed my mind about that. But yeah, no, the 17e is still what I recommend for most people. It's honestly so much better than the regular 17 because it is cheaper and it doesn't leave much out for that average Joes actually care about. So it's really fine, I would say. I mean, I'm glad the pink is there, so yeah, it's just a solid option. And it's got MagSafe.
I forgot, they added a color to it, even if it's a color I don't particularly care about. But okay.
Even if it's very washed out, because Apple, I'm sorry, you gotta start bringing in real colors.
Yeah, I mean, I am grateful they added MagSafe back to it, because I thought it was just really weird that they chose to not have it last time around. That was the one totally weird thing, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't complain about the price too much. I expected it to increase. Did I expect it to increase as much as it did? No. But it was at the end of the world? Not particularly. But now that the 17e is out with its updated... the biggest things that I kind of care about are the updated storage and the MagSafe thing.
Yeah, same, because those are two things that average people will notice.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, as long as you legitimately do not care about smartphones and you just want a new budget iPhone, it's actually very easy to... The thing, it's hard to buy a bad phone these days. It
Exactly.
really is.
I mean, the iPhone 17 and 17 Plus, or no, there is no more 17 Plus, right? The regular iPhone 17, I honestly can't recommend to people anymore now that the E line is out, because they're really all. Because if you care about if you understand what you're getting with the iPhone 17 versus the 17e, you're more than likely going to be a pro iPhone buyer anyway.
The one thing that I will say though that might convince them otherwise might be battery life.
Yeah, I mean, battery life, it might be one thing, but I mean, batteries degrade over time anyway, so it's not like that's exactly. I mean, I get that battery life would be a bigger selling point, but I mean, that's all.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, you're starting off with a bigger battery capacity for one. So that means
No, I
the
totally
range.
I get your argument
Yeah.
now.
So, yeah, there's legitimate use case in that regard, and still not forcing people to have to go with the Pro. Because I mean, the argument could be made, well, if you also care about battery life, then of course you want to go for the Pro. But not everybody wants to spend over $1,000 on a phone.
Exactly, but I mean, I mean, honestly, I don't. Honestly, I don't think there's enough different sectors of an iPhone that Apple can carry to really. I honestly think that Apple should just release one iPhone every year and call it like what they used to do. But how dare Apple go back to what they used to do?
Yeah, they've certainly did none of that this week.
Or shall we go back to? Shall we move on to the M4 iPad Air now?
Is there really anything noteworthy to discuss about it other than, I mean, can we say a chip upgrade is even noteworthy for an iPad?
Honestly, not, because here's what I have to say about here's what I have to say about the iPad Air. I gotta also grab my iPad Air 5, wherever the thing is. Oh, it's at the bottom of my stack. I shouldn't complain because I put it there, but oh my god. I really need to get kind of a better way of storing my iPads so they're all squished on top of each other. But back in the days, the iPad Air 4 and iPad Air 5, in the early days of the iPad Air 5, I should say, from 2020 until 2022, the iPad Air made sense because it offered a cheaper all-screen iPad that wasn't a Pro. That's one of the reasons why I went for it, because I wanted a full-size iPad then. However...
Same here.
Exactly. However, the problem is that in late 2022, once Apple released the iPad 10th generation, that it was really just game over. Now that the iPad... Well, now that the 11th gen... Surprised they didn't do a 12th gen this week. Now that the iPad 11th gen is at the same normal $350 price tag. Well, technically $20 extra, but it's still basically back to normal now, so... So it's like, why even bother with an iPad Air anymore? It's not... Honestly, I really think there's only one... There should just be one iPad every year with just possibly different screen sizes.
I'm kind of thinking the same.
Like if the latest iPhone shit up, and then just call different screen sizes, just do that every year and call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to take advantage of the iPad Pro's hardware, then I could actually make an argument for the Pros needing to exist. But let's be real, the majority of these devices, I mean, even this device is primarily just being a content consumption device, minus the thumbnail machine. But I really am not taking advantage of that hardware at all. The only reason I got it was because at the time the 13-inch iPad Air was not out, so that was literally the only way I could get the biggest screen on an iPad. But even then, Face ID. I care about Face ID too.
Yeah, same. Which Face ID should be staring across the iPad lineup, but I digress.
Absolutely. The fact that it's not yet is just makes absolutely no sense. But no, they at this point, it would really just make sense if only they had basically one iPad model at this point. Because, I mean, iPad mini, if you want a small tablet, just get a big phone.
I mean, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I get that at this point, but yeah, that's a side. But I mean, again, if they made phones smaller than I could see, I mean, the only reason I got the iPad mini was because I didn't exactly want something that was budget tier, but I also didn't want something that didn't want to break the bank. But I'm probably not buying an iPad mini for my next one because every time I use my iPad Air 5, again, which hasn't been that much, I realize I do miss the screen size greatly.
Yeah, for me, I go Pro Max or everything, so my Pro Max iPhone paired with an iPad mini would just be ridiculous.
Exactly, like at least I go with regular Pro iPhones, but now granted, if Apple made iPhones really small again, which
then
hey
maybe
Apple,
it would make more sense, yes.
Exactly, but if Apple, in fact, I think the only problem is that if Apple made iPhones small again, they would have to do that across the entire lineup and just force people to deal with it basically, and we all know how many bad customers that would create.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, I'm not the majority of customers.
Yeah, the iPad Air is becoming incredibly hard to justify at this point. Because at least the iPad Pro, as stupid expensive as it is, it at least has a few features that are going for it that people do legitimately care about, like Face ID. The tandem OLED display is really nice. Yeah, it's I can't argue that. The ProMotion is also really nice, especially when you're doing stuff with an Apple Pencil. If I can get it in focus here. There. Yes. So having ProMotion with the Apple Pencil is also incredibly nice. So even though it has a very small market, the iPad Pro does make it makes more sense than the iPad Air, in my opinion.
Exactly, but that's really all I have. Exactly, but I think the iPad Air just really doesn't have a place anymore because it's too low end to be a Pro iPad, but it's too high end to be any other iPad. So that's really sums up perfectly. But shall I move on to the MacBook Neo right now?
I thought we were gonna save that for last, but well, we can do it now, I guess. Dude, the second I saw that price tag and learned about the feature set, there's a reason why I titled my first impressions the way I titled it.
Yeah, I was kind I mean, now this MacBook Neo is out, I'll say, like, I think this is a great MacBook for people. I genuinely do. This is generally the Mac I'm going to recommend to everybody since it cut corner. You said it perfectly in your video. It cut corners exactly where it should have. Like it doesn't leave out anything people actually care about, since most PCs still don't have any form of fingerprint sensors or really anything like that at all. So so no Touch ID on the base one, that'll be fine. The price tag is pretty fine. The colors are fine. The keyboard, I mean, again, lots of laptops still, people oftentimes still press down their trackpads anyway, so that's not a big deal. I mean, that's not the main, but the only real thing that I don't have quite as much concern now that I learned about the display output of the MacBook Neo, but I just don't. Again, I brought this issue up when it was rumored, but I'll bring it up again. I still don't know how this is exactly fair for the 13-inch MacBook Air, since most people who are going to buy the MacBook most people, because you're either going to be in the MacBook Neo type of market or else the MacBook Pro type of market. But the only advantage I can see of the MacBook Air at this point that average Joes care about is the fact that the MacBook Air you can easily plug into different displays, which does matter for some business scenarios where it can be. And some people like to use their laptops like a desktop. Yeah. And some people like to plug them into the projector.
I kind of think that's what's going to end up happening between the two I see the MacBook Neo being a home-ish use because there are still home tasks that are not work-related, but there's still home tasks that we need to do on a computer, be it balancing our checkbooks, doing our taxes. Oh crap, I still gotta do taxes.
Luckily, I don't have to do that because I don't make enough money off of YouTube yet, and hopefully the IRS will be dissolved just in time before I start making enough money.
Yeah, nonetheless. Yeah, there's still plenty of reasons why you need to have a computer at your house, even though it could be argued, sure, you can get away with doing it on just your phone or a tablet, which you still technically can, but there are so many advantages to still having just a proper laptop, like being able to type on a physical keyboard that actually is of decent quality. I've tried typing on so many different Magic keyboards every time I go to Best Buy, or the very rare occasion I go to an Apple store. I do not like the Magic keyboards for iPad.
And now they make the iPads often more expensive than MacBook Neo anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So, but no, there's definitely plenty of home case scenarios to have a laptop. And then also, dude, college students are gonna buy the smurf out of this thing.
I know, like it's like the. Do you remember back in 2020 when the Lenovo Chromebook Duet started selling like hotcakes?
I never paid that much attention to Lenovo Chromebooks, but no, I remember when Chromebooks were really starting to take off. And I was really hoping that this would be a short-lived future after people discover, hey, this thing is legitimately useless without an internet connection. At least you can use the MacBook Neo without an internet connection.
Yeah, but I mean, college... But yeah, no, the MacBook Neo is going to become so popular with college students because it has everything that college students need.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my school technically signed a 3-year contract with the school iPads, and so now I'm wondering, are they going to get us iPads again? Or maybe...
That is a legitimately interesting question.
Because they bought us Logitech Smart Keyboards for our iPad 9th generation, so I'm now thinking, we'll just because for less than $100 more, they'll be able to go up to the MacBook Neo. Oh wait, no, they won't because of note taking. That's right. Teachers have to entirely reformat their note taking, probably because we do some styles and sometimes do it okay, maybe not, but I mean,
dude, that'd be interesting. That'd be so interesting. What are they gonna do?
Because I mean, some of the yearbook students at my school, they have MacBook Airs now. If you work on yearbook.
Yeah.
And like all the teachers at my school, they have MacBook Airs, which again makes sense because they often are going to be outputting the various things they're going to be outputting projectors a lot, so they need the extra display outputs.
Mm-hmm. But so yeah, I see this MacBook Neo being popular in a home setting and also for students, because students do not have as much money as they wish they had. But the biggest reason I can still make plenty of instances for the MacBook Air even, once you move into a business and professional environment, but you still don't necessarily need the horsepower of you don't need the sheer raw horsepower of the MacBook Pros. Because with the MacBook Air, you still have proper Thunderbolt connectivity, so yes, you can plug it into a proper docking station and get all of the I/O capabilities and all of your monitors set up as such.
You'll also be able to plug it into various flash drives and such, which that's a very big deal in the business environment. I mean, the home environment, all that matters really is is if people back up their photos to a flash drive.
And when you're working, when you're doing like legit actual business stuff, you're going to have a lot more apps running in the background compared to a home setting, or sometimes a school setting can push it a little bit, but it's typically nowhere near as much as a business setting. Because in business, you're going to have a lot more apps open. You're going to have Microsoft Excel. You're going to have your web browser. You're going to have any other software that you need to perform your job open. You're going to be doing a lot more multitasking. And at that point, you might potentially be stressing out the MacBook Neo at that point. Because again, keep in mind, the A18 may not be a bad chip. It's technically more powerful than the M1 chip, if I'm not mistaken. But the
M1 chip was designed for, but the M1 was designed for computers and to handle that load, whereas the A18 Pro was not. It was designed for a phone.
Yeah, exactly. So I can still think of plenty of instances where someone would want to choose the MacBook Air over the MacBook Neo.
Exactly.
And the biggest thing I can think of is business cases where you legit do not need the horsepower. So I think accountants, writers, even though writers could technically use the MacBook Neo for that, I think writers would prefer, especially, here's another thing that we should mention. MacBook Neo is only offered in a 13-inch screen size. The MacBook Air offers a 15-inch screen size.
That's why I was worried about the 13-inch MacBook Air's future. I knew the 15-inch one would remain unaffected, but...
So, but that's what I think is going to come down to the biggest separation. I mean, Apple even kind of makes it a little obvious too with just the way they've marketed the MacBook Neo. They are not marketing it for business at all. It is clearly for... They're going hard with education in particular, but it is also clearly marketed for a group of people in a home setting. With
exactly,
kids that need to do their homework, for example. It's for home and school-related tasks. But the MacBook Air, that's where you start getting into business, and the MacBook Pro is where you legitimately need that horsepower.
Exactly, because the MacBook Air... Exactly, because in my school, with my typical... Whenever I'm using my school iPad, I typically have... If I have to have it open, I'll typically have like maybe one, maybe two apps open. I'll very rarely have split screen open. Like I won't really have that many tasks running. And usually with my school, with the Macs at school, then we usually have like maybe one, maybe two tabs open. Sometimes a few more. So.
I mean, back when I was in school and I had brought my MacBook to class, I've only basically had 3 apps open at a time. It was Safari for my web browsing. Oh, wait, no. No, I used Firefox to keep my school stuff separate from my personal stuff. But it was Firefox and Keynote.
Huh. Yeah, no, I don't. I even, like... one of the few things I like about doing homework, and I have to do some this week to make up for me being absent from school, is... The only thing I like about homework is that I get to do it on the big screen MacBook, which I really like. But I just do everything on Safari these days. Because I figured out how to get... Because switching Google accounts actually works properly now.
It's also nice that now you have different tab groups. That's a new feature.
I haven't even done... I haven't even messed with that yet, but although to be fair, I have basically had no need to because I've only need to do either stuff for my podcast account or stuff for my personal / main YouTube account or stuff for my school account.
Even then, though, that's done on the iPad, so...
Sometimes I do use my school account on my MacBook, but that's... Or... On the rare occasion, I use the account for my second YouTube channel because yes, technically all my YouTube channels are on separate accounts because that's the only way I thought you used to be able to do it.
Yep, linking is a thing. You probably could transfer it to your primary email.
I probably could, but I just haven't done that yet. But Well, I also like having a separate Google account, a burner Google account just in case for my second YouTube channel, which is why I have that. But yeah, that's just. But yeah, my main. I back when I was gonna do a vlog channel, back when I briefly rebranded my channel to iAppleTree in April 2022. I did set up a separate iAppleTree vlogs channel for that on my main Google account, which that's still a channel on YouTube, by the way. But that I never uploaded anything to that one though. But that somehow still has like 20 subscribers.
That's hilarious.
Let me actually see how many subscribers iAppleTree Vlogs has now. It has 19 subscribers.
That's more than my channel with 0 uploads.
I used to have my school account as a channel as well. That used to be able to subscribe to on YouTube. I eliminated that.
Yep. So, but
if you excuse me, I think I have to run to the restroom.
I'm looking on Twitter, and apparently there's a new record for the fastest production car. 2026 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1X has a 0 to 60 time of 1.68 seconds. It's actually by I guess when you get down to that quick of a time, I guess it's by a decent margin. That is crazy. Quarter mile in 8.67 seconds.
I'm back. For reference, we're talking about the fastest production car.
Yeah, while I was waiting for him, I was just looking on Twitter, and apparently there's a new record for fastest production car. And it's the 2026 Chevy Corvette ZR1X. Quarter mile in 8.67 seconds. 159.57 mile per hour trap speed. 0 to 60 in 1.68 seconds. That's faster than the Model S. Yes, it is. And apparently it pulled 1.5 Gs during launch.
Huh. Well, that's pretty cool, I'd say. But, do you have anything more to say about the MacBook Neo, or shall I move on to the M5 MacBook Air?
I was on to something.
About how the MacBook Neo was great for home use, but for business, the MacBook Air was better.
Oh, yeah. I guess I think we now have to ask. What is the competition gonna do?
Huh.
Because when you think about it, people are extremely fed up with Windows right now.
And and we're right in the middle of the Rampocalypse.
What do you think PC manufacturers are going to be able to do?
The only advantage that PC manufacturers have at that price point is a bigger screen. Oh, because I guess...
Other than that, they can't compete on performance. They can't compete on battery life. They can't compete on quality of speakers. They can't compete on quality of trackpad. Because seriously, once you get in that price category of laptop trackpads, oh my gosh, they're just trash. They're just trash.
I mean, exactly. For a lot of people have been saying that, the MacBook Neo is trash because it only has 8 gigabytes of RAM, even though, to be honest, average people who are going to be using this MacBook isn't intended for needing more RAM. It's intended for doing like maybe some balancing checkbooks, maybe writing a document, browsing the web. Like it's
And
not
that
intended.
does not require a lot of memory.
It's
It
basically
really does
intended
not.
for doing everything that an iPad can do, but just on a proper laptop form. So it doesn't need 16 gigabytes of RAM, and no Mac like keyboard. Yeah, no, look here. I mean, that's not necessarily that big of a deal breaker. No, True Tone also not that big of a deal breaker.
Yeah,
You
no
mentioned
backlit
that.
keyboard. Hey guys, do you want to know what else is not backlit? You want to complain about a $600 laptop not having a backlit keyboard? How about let's take this stand-alone $200 keyboard?
Exactly, but
This is not backlit and made by the same people. So if you want to complain about a $600 laptop not having a backlit keyboard, cry me a river. Because this deserves backlighting more than that.
exactly, because the people who are buying the keyboard do probably care about that. But I digress. But do you have anything more to say about this? Shall I move on to the new MacBook Air?
Yeah, so the only thing I'd like to ask left about the MacBook Neo is, what do you think about the I/O selection?
The only thing I don't like about it is how well, there's two things I don't like about it. First of all, they're not on opposite sides, which that's a little bit inconvenient for people because people should be able to charge their laptops from both sides. No MagSafe, average Joes don't care about that, so that's not a big deal. Because this is also largely intended for first-time Mac buyers, so there's that to consider. The only thing is that it would have been nice if maybe they marked the USB 3.0 port with a little bit of blue, kind of like how some USB 3.3 ports are marked with blue on desktops. So that's one thing I would like a special marking, especially given that Phil Schiller mocked other laptop manufacturers for not doing that.
Yeah,
of course,
that's
a different
a very
bill.
fair and valid complaint.
So
I would definitely like to have my if you're going to put two USB-C ports, but they're not going to be identical in performance, it would really help if they were labeled. Like, remember when Apple actually used to do that with oh, do I have? Yeah, I do. Remember when Apple actually used to put labeling?
Yeah, they
by
did.
The ports?
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't remember when they. Yeah, actually, I didn't know they waited to stop doing that with the 2016 iMac Pro and onward. But yeah, no, that would be nice if they did that, especially for ports of different functionalities. And honestly, I think even offering a headphone jack is a little bit generous, since I honestly think that Apple could have gotten away with removing the headphone jack on the MacBook Neo.
I think they chose to keep it around because primarily it has to do with the school thing again. A lot of schools don't hand out wireless headphones.
That makes sense, to be fair, yeah.
So
I mean, lots of schools buy iPads and they don't have headphone jacks.
Yeah,
anymore.
That's a good point. But, I mean, I don't know. But I still think it's important for them to have a headphone jack. And so I'm glad they still kept it around for that. It doesn't support the high impedance headphones like the Air and the Pros do, but it's like, which graphic are we talking about again?
No one who buys a MacBook Neo is going to even probably have high impedance headphones or know what they are.
Yeah, so it's like, I do think it makes sense to still keep it there, even if iPads haven't had it for a while. But no, it makes too much sense to still keep the headphone jack. But no, I would agree. I would like to have them on both sides. And to your point, yes, if they're going to be different speeds, then they should be labeled as such, so that you know what you're plugging it into.
Because average Joes are going to get
marketing images.
Because average Joes are going to get... Again, this is a laptop for average Joes. They're going to get so confused. Maybe not, but they're going to...
And there's another thing. The there's a huge difference in speed between USB 2 and USB 3. It's actually quite noticeable. So, it's going to be annoying.
So they're going to think that's going to be... and average Joes do use flash drives and whatnot, so they're going to know. So it would be nice if they... And it seems like most average Joes do understand, like if they label it, especially if they label the ports like fast, slow, like that would be... People do need to know that, but I digress.
So
this is still a great laptop, though.
Though, I ask you this because primarily I'm trying to think, what are legit average Joes going to plug into this thing? I'm thinking of like my mom, for example, because she owns a laptop in that price category. And the only thing I think she plugs in is a monitor at work so she can do her accounting. And then... Oh, no, she doesn't even use that laptop for school. She has a different one. So... Yeah, come to think of it, she hardly ever plugs anything into that laptop aside a display if she's going to be working at a desk, or just the charge cable, the power cord.
Yeah, the only things I think average Joe's going to plug in are either flash drives or external hard drives, because some average Joes still do use that stuff. Otherwise, nope, that's the. But otherwise, I don't think they're not going to be plugging in. But they're not going to be plugging in anything else besides the charger, obviously.
It's not like they're going to be editing 4K 60 videos off of an SSD like many of us.
No, and no, even if they edit videos on that thing, they'll be like quick little simple home movies that you'll probably edit at night. That you can probably edit in iMovie anyway, and they'll probably only be in iMovie or a similar program.
Not gonna lie, I was actually so tempted because, I mean, my sister was temporarily using this one. This is my first MacBook ever. This is that 2011 MacBook from how many years ago. I had given this to my sister to use for schoolwork and various other projects, although the battery does not hold a charge anymore, so she stopped using it for that reason alone. But it's just also got super outdated software to the point where it's hard to use it. So I was very tempted to purchase I wouldn't do base model. I would have gone the 512 gig because her and I are working on an animation project and we would both greatly appreciate the storage. But I was really tempted to actually buy or pre-order. Yeah, that's another thing too. You can pre-order this right now. So I was really tempted to pick one up and test it out, and then once I'm done, try to convince my sister to buy it off of me. Because this would be perfect for her.
Yeah, it really would be, but I don't really... It really would be, but now shall we go ahead and move on to the next MacBook Air?
Yeah, we're still not done with MacBooks. We're moving on to the MacBook Air. And this one is going to be interesting. With now it's a removed pricing tier option.
All right, the MacBook Air got a price hike by $100. I mean, it's the Rampacalypse, so I'm not surprised. It's still a decent laptop that I would still recommend to people, but.
And again, I'd still make the argument if you're buying a MacBook for business, but you don't need the sheer power of a Pro, the MacBook Air is still like an excellent choice. Especially
because most of the time it's going to be businesses that are going to be buying this computer anyway, so it's going to be a cost on the bit. Like if you're buying a computer for business, oftentimes it's going to come up. Oftentimes they'll be called what. I mean, sometimes it might be your employers that'll pay for it, but yeah, I mean the MacBook Air, it's still just because it's a little bit more expensive doesn't make it a bad computer, because it is absolutely a great computer.
I mean, here's the weird thing about the price increase. They did this similar to, was it the 17 line or the 16 line when they did this? I legitimately don't remember. But basically, what they did is they removed the MacBook Air used to start at 256 gigs, and if you spent an additional $100, you could upgrade that to 512. And what they basically did was they just removed the 256 gig tier, so now it starts at the 512 gig tier, and last year's M4 did start at $1,100 if you went for the 512 upgrade.
Yeah, I don't know what the... I'm trying to remember what iPhone did this. I don't... are you referring to the Pro iPhones? Because the Pro iPhones did that.
Yeah, it happened with the Pros. It happened with the Pros.
It was, I think the 17 Pro.
I think it was the 17 Pros too. I legitimately do not remember, but it was either that or the 16 Pros. I don't remember, and the reason why is because I didn't pay for this one fully outright. I got it on financing, so.
I sadly paid for this one outright.
Yeah. But effectively what they did was they just removed the previous base storage tier. Other than that, if you spec them like for like, comparing each generation, they're priced identically. So, yeah, it's a bit weird on that front, but I mean, other than that, what did it get? It got the M5 chip. That's not notable anymore because all Apple Silicon is just overkill these days. It did get the N1 Bluetooth chip.
All right, yeah.
So that's another thing done in-house. I'm trying to remember, does N1 also handle Wi-Fi, or am I thinking a different chip?
I thought it was C1, but I don't... let me look that up.
I legit do not remember. I can't keep track of all these chip names, but I do know N1 is a Bluetooth. C1X is cellular.
Yep, N1. Yep, N1 is Wi-Fi.
Okay, so, yeah, that means it now has Wi-Fi 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So that's another benefit for not me, because we have an old Wi-Fi router in the house. So.
Our Wi-Fi router is from 2021 or 2022.
Oh gosh, ours is older than that.
How old is yours?
2017 or 2018?
To be fair, I think like our previous so for reference, in 2021 we had to get a new Wi-Fi router, but that one crapped out. So I think we have an Amazon Eero system now. So I can't remember when we got. Actually, the unboxing for the one we got in 2021 is still up on my channel. But yeah, and you replied, you need Wi-Fi range, and I put in the title like you need Wi-Fi range up to this amount distance, and then you replied only if your room reached that. But yeah, that was October 2021. But yeah, I think our old Wi-Fi router, like one of the antennas on it broke or something. But yeah, I don't even know how old that previous Wi-Fi router was. Like that one might have been like early 2010s, maybe even late 2000s.
Yeah, don't know, but so it does have better wireless capabilities, so there's that. But other than that, I can't think of too much else to discuss because it's really hard to get excited for chip upgrades because they've been so overkill for the past 5 years.
Exactly, and I think we can say the same thing for the next MacBook Pro.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there are supposed changes that they did make. It turns out the modularity thing that we covered a couple weeks ago, that didn't end up panning out. It's still the same way. So I guess it's not as configurable as what we were hoping it would be, but apparently they chose to change the marketing on the cores. We got performance and super cores now. I missed that in my video, but that's because I genuinely do not care because it's all overkill.
Exactly, like it's a. I remember that because Sam Tucker from Sam Time mocked that for obvious reasons.
So, no, yeah, there's not really too much for me to get excited about in terms of the M5 generation of MacBooks. The real MacBook to only get excited about at this point really is the MacBook Neo.
Yeah, and especially given that the MacBook Pro is rumored to get a bigger redesign this fall anyway. But the only other thing to talk about with this Mac Pro is that it also got a price tag hike. But again, this is the middle of the apocalypse, and it's still a great computer. So
yeah, the thing is that they've done the same thing the entire time. It's just removing base tier storage options, so now it starts at a higher price. It's just because the 16-inch MacBook Pro used to start at $2,500. My configuration technically cost $2,700, but I paid $2,500 because I got the student discount with it. I mean, like for like, my 16-inch MacBook Pro compared to the new M5 16-inch MacBook Pro, it's the same price with a terabyte of storage, like for like.
yeah, so I mean that's how much I paid for my Mac Pro. So it's really not anything different. It's really not at all anything. I mean, it is a little bit different, but it's not anything that. It's not quite as outrageous as what we were originally expecting. So
I am going to be terrified when that redesigned MacBook Pro comes out.
Yeah, that's good.
We both know they are going to use that to justify a price hike.
If the Rampacalypse keeps going.
Well, from the sounds of it, it's bleeding into 2027. So.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to suck. It's really going to suck. I was kind of hoping with, like, even the last MacBook Pro redesign, the generation we're on right now, when it initially came out, it got a $100 price increase over the previous.
And that price never went back down.
Yeah, because the Intel 16-inch, that started at $2,400. And then they upped it to $2,500 with the Apple Silicon generation. And unfortunately, I was kind of hoping they do like what they did with the MacBook Air. Eventually, okay, new design. We got to make sure that we get the tooling all paid off so we can actually justify lowering the prices. But no, they've never lowered the costs on the 16-inch in particular. So, yeah, that's mostly what I base my prices off of, because for me to consider a 14-inch or a smaller MacBook Pro, why would I? Why would I ever consider a smaller MacBook Pro?
The only reason why I go with 16-inch of my MacBook Pro is because I have because I want to have as much screen real estate as possible for having multiple windows open for podcasting.
I mean, I go 16-inch because it's the only choice. It's the
only choice to make. It is not the only choice, Alpha.
The only reason you should go 14-inch is to save money. That's the only legitimate reason I will allow people to buy the 14-inch. Other than that, do not say, "Oh, but it's because it's more portable." That's BS.
That is true.
So, but nonetheless, no, I legitimately do not have too much to talk about the other new MacBooks. The MacBook Neo really stole the show.
Shall I move on to the new studio display though?
Yeah. Since when does Apple release a new professional product for approximately half the price.
No, this isn't the Studio Display XDR we're talking about. This is the regular Studio Display 2.
Oh, forget that. Who cares?
Exactly. The
Hardly
thing is.
anybody buys it.
All right. Yeah, valid point. Still too expensive. Apple's missing the point. But the Studio Display XDR. Aside from decreasing the screen size from 32 to 27 inches, wow, it's so perfect. This might get S tier.
It's nearly
this might get
half the price.
that might get S tier later this on my tier list later this year. Actually,
Yeah, the
now it's
only
reasonable
thing
profession.
for me, the only thing knocking it down for me is just, well, the obvious. I'm Mr. King Screen Real Estate. I got two 32-inch monitors beside me. Obviously, if you're going to downsize the screen on something, you're going to make me upset. But other than that, I mean, wow. It's actual proper mini LED this time.
And it comes with a free stand.
That's right.
Which unfortunately means that
is included.
Do you know that Samtime song I would pay $999?
I do. I do.
Yeah, that unfortunately that song no longer. I mean, I'm kidding. That's still a great song you should listen to. But yeah.
What was it based off of?
I would be 500 miles by the Proclaimers.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm gonna be. Actually, I have that exact title. I actually have that exact song on my Apple Music library, so I can check myself.
That was it.
I'm gonna be 500 miles by the Proclaimers.
Yeah. Who was it that actually announced the price of the Pro stand?
I think that.
I'm actually trying to remember. Who was the one who actually told the audience what the price of the Pro stand was?
Stand, who? Announced. Who announced,
Pro stand event. Oh, that's not right. Apple
It
Pro
was-
stand price meme.
It was John Turnus.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes. I will send you
Oh my
the
God,
photo.
That is John Turnus.
He had to deal with Apple's biggest meme. So now their most overpriced product is
so far. He's come so far, man.
That is true. Now their only meme product is. Do they still sell $700 Mac Pro reels?
I wouldn't be shocked if they did.
Yep, $700.
You know, I wonder how many people actually remember that it was John Turnus who announced to the world that somehow a hunk of metal designed to hold a monitor somehow cost $1,000.
It was a stand made of soda cans, as Sam Tucker put it.
That is insane.
Did you watch Crazy? Did you watch Crazy Ken from? Did you watch Crazy Ken from the Computer Clan make a video? Did you watch his video where he demoed other use cases for the Pro Display stand they made back in 2019? Yeah, I'm so glad he's really come a ways. But that's the Studio Display XDR is pretty amazing. It's actually a lot more reasonable for businesses to consider now for their color correction jobs.
It legitimately is. So much to the point where if this channel is ever monetized in my house, I mean, I hate the fact that's 27 inches, but I would totally want to consider it at least for proper color correction. Because I'll give you guys a hint. I do my color correction on these very monitors right beside me, and they're just cheap $300 4K monitors.
Oh yeah, your color correction is gonna look real nice if you get a Studio Display XDR. The only other thing I have to say is, I'm surprised they changed the name.
I think it makes sense that they did, though, to keep it more in line with
That is true. I mean, I get it, but...
So...
Kind of surprised they didn't just call it Studio Display Pro, but...
That probably would have been a better name than XDR, because... I don't know, XDR sounds very dorky to me, but...
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like... XDR sounds... To be fair, the name XDR... Calling something XDR fits you because you're a nerd, according to your sister.
I guess so. But...
I'm kidding, obviously.
Being honest, though, I think the most impressive part is just... We've got actual expensive professional grade... We got an expensive professional grade product here, and they just halved the price from the product it replaces.
That's the most incredible price reduction I've seen since. No, wait. I can think of one price reduction that can great. I can think of one price reduction that was greater. Far, far more crucial to the history of society. Twice as fast, half the price.
Oh, that, yep.
The reference I'm showing an iPhone 3G compared to the first generation iPhone.
Though, I mean, if you think about it, too, there's another thing that's actually happened in recent history.
Because, I mean, the iPhone 3G started at $200, whereas the original iPhone started, well, technically at the end, $600 because they eliminated the 4GB variant.
Mm-hmm. But I think you could argue this.
Oh, yeah, no, you can argue that, too, because, like, I mean, come on, like, about over $1,000 for an i3 MacBook Air.
Yeah. And now the MacBook Air has close to high-end desktop performance. I said close to.
Yeah.
And yet that level of performance came down into a $1,000 laptop. And then this thing, I mean, it's $2,500, but the performance that this thing has, $5,000+ machines. So
exactly.
And most of those are just like boxes, like the Mac Pro. This has a whole display, keyboard, and trackpad attached to it. Oh, and a battery too.
Yeah, that is technically another form of a price reduction, but yeah, sure. That's really all I have to say about this. Shall I move on to our next topic still with Apple?
Yeah, so I guess we wrapped up everything that was announced this week. What a week. I lost like 5 hours of sleep just trying to get all these videos out.
At least I was off of school. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have filmed all these videos, but yeah, Apple is building the Mac Mini in Houston, Texas later this year, which I'm glad to see a more popular computer being built in the United States.
How do you not recommend people to buy a Mac Mini and now the MacBook Neo? How can you recommend a PC anymore?
You can't.
It's now legitimately impossible. I
And
don't know how to do it.
And now we'll get Mac Mini. We'll be able to get Mac Minis so fast if we want to.
Yeah, that'll be awesome because now we don't have to wait for it to ship overseas.
Exactly, but we've already gone to that in another episode. So shall we move on to our next topic that should be self-explanatory because we only have a little bit over an hour left.
Yeah, we gotta rapid fire through a lot of these here. All right.
Look, this
Apparently,
one will
Apple
be easy.
Intelligence servers are idling at warehouses because, nobody's using them. Nobody's using Apple Intelligence. Totally not embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Our next topic is a lot more interesting, which is that there's the Dutch semiconductor firm ASML unveiled a new EUV light source advance that could yield 50% more chips by 2030.
Awesome, because we could use more chips given what's going on right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but our next topic is very exciting, which is that Sam Altman stated that investors are too excited about AI. Let me repeat this. Sam Altman stated that investors are way too excited about AI, even though I really argue it's Sam Altman's fault.
I think this kind of proves that he's a bit of an idiot. Because, for one, his business is entirely built off of hype. And this is the opposite of that.
Well, he's raising his son off ChatGPT, so...
Yeah, true. I suppose he needs that artificial intelligence to make up for the lack of brain cells, but...
Yeah. Shall we move on to our next topic about ChatGPT?
Yeah, I added this one in. Speaking of ChatGPT, and the reason why Sam Altman is really starting to look like an idiot now, apparently, due to OpenAI now having contracts with the DoD, aka the Department of Defense, or as Sam Altman prefers to say, it's now the Department of War.
Donald Trump actually renamed it that.
Oh, he did? I thought that was a Sam Altman.
Nope, Donald Trump renamed it to that.
Uh-huh. Well, nonetheless, now that OpenAI has contracts with them, let's just say that the uninstallation rate has nearly tripled.
I'm not surprised. Effectively, because of this whole this Claude versus OpenAI war, effectively this is causing people to go on literally two separate sides, depending on the political spectrum. Which, again, having platforms of only people of one view is bad.
Yes. But then again, AI in general is just pure
bad.
Bad,
so I'm glad to see at least people are installing ChatGPT, so that's very good.
Even if it's for kind of the wrong reasons. But,
I wonder if maybe that's the Department of War's real goal. Is to get people to stop using AI.
The problem is, especially thanks to Palantir, everyone's now getting extra concerned about what we've seen what these AI companies have done. They've legitimately stolen works from other creators, for example, to train a lot of their models. They've stolen work. They've not adhered to copyright law at all. So this means, okay, we've now assessed that these AI companies do not believe they are beholden to law at this point. So now, how much more are they going to violate our rights? Because if they're not going to keep themselves law-abiding by stealing content to train models off of, why in the world would they respect your privacy?
Oh, speaking of AI and privacy, shall I move on to our next topic since that ties in great with that?
Very much so, indeed. Let's go.
So, Samsung Galaxy S26's Now Nudge feature is likely like Windows Recall, but for reading messages.
What were they smoking?
Well, one One of the guys of the Lee family that controls Samsung actually did get arrested on drug charges, but he was let out because he was part of the member of the family that controls Samsung. So
What the heck were they smoking? That's like the literal thought process to actually implement something like this is, oh, let's take something that was renowned as very bad from Microsoft, and we're going to implement it specifically in a privacy important scenario. What the heck? How do you put two and two together like that and make it make sense?
they were smoking. So shall I move on to our next topic? That's actually some good news about Samsung.
Good news, Samsung Galaxy Buds 4 and Buds 4 Pro. Redesigned to not look like the AirPods 4. Yeah, I think I've seen the marketing images, and thankfully, yeah, they don't look like AirPods anymore. I mean, if I recall, didn't one of the CEOs point out that they were very embarrassed by what happened in terms of
Yes.
the Galaxy Buds 3?
Yep.
Although, strangely enough, they copied Apple's plateau idea for the 26 line this year.
Oh, yeah.
Because of course they did. So, there's that. Huawei FreeBuds Pro 5. 4.6 megabits per second lossless audio support via Nearwave, Huawei's proprietary wireless standard.
I figured you would be interested in this topic.
Actually, I kind of am, given that I'm an audiophile, although I highly doubt I'd be able to get my hands on these to test because it's a Huawei product.
And they don't sell the Huawei products here, so...
Well, I mean, it doesn't really help that they're kind of banned from selling their products here in the U.S., thanks to we all know who. But, no, it's nice that we're trying to figure out how to get lossless audio to work, although... No, I suppose we technically cannot do it through Bluetooth, because just Bluetooth does not have the proper bandwidth to enable lossless. The only way you can get it to work is if you buffered the song. So...
Well, I think I know exactly what Alpha's going to go try when he goes to China.
If I ever go to China. Which I have no idea if that would ever happen. I mean, there's some landmarks. I would like to see the Great Wall if I could, but...
Yes, same.
Not entirely sure if I want to deal with the crazy New York traffic everywhere.
I'm sure rural China, it's not bad.
Oh, traffic in China is awful. It's basically New York wherever you go. So, yeah, there's that. What is this thing?
So, Alira 1.0 is an open unified standard for smart locks, and it's from the same company that made Matter.
Standard, because I thought that was a smart home standard, and aren't smart locks part of a smart home?
Exactly. Shall we move on to our next sad news topic?
Oh, Panasonic.
So Panasonic is no longer making their own TVs, and of course they're selling their TV business to the Chinese firm Skyworth.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, our living room TV used to be a Panasonic. That was the big box TV we had in the living room.
Yeah, Panasonic. It's sad to see It's sad to see that all these China TVs are getting rebranded cheap Chinese garbage. But oh well. To be fair, I don't even watch TV really anymore that much. So not really something that concerns me.
It's still unfortunate, though.
Exactly, but because Panasonic was always known for being so great at making TVs. But shall we move on to our next topic?
Oh, this affects me.
So 1Password is increasing their annual plans by $12 per month.
So now the business is paying more money for software that I don't use because I forgot the 1Password.
And you can't cancel it without the password.
Well, we can get it reset. We just haven't ever gone through the process. But no, as embarrassing as it is, I forgot the 1Password to my password manager.
I don't even use password managers, to be honest. I just
You don't even use the iCloud keychain?
Okay, I use the iCloud keychain. I do use that.
Yeah, that's a password manager.
Yeah, I use the iCloud keychain because that's so handy, but but that can also use Tetra Face ID for, so
Yeah, it's just instead of the password being something you enter on a keyboard like this, it's your face. Or your
exactly.
fingerprint, depending on which device you're using. So, but yeah, that sucks. The company is now going to be paying more money for software that I don't use because I was an idiot and forgot the 1Password.
Oh well.
Oh well. Speaking of subscriptions.
YouTube Premium Lite gets background play and downloads. To be honest, I had no idea that YouTube Premium Lite was even a thing.
We've discussed it before, actually. We just both agree that it was kind of dumb. Because it only eliminated some ads.
Oh, that!
Yeah!
Oh, that, yeah. Okay, never mind. That doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, no wonder why I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's because it was so stupid.
Oh, background play and downloads. No. I do background play just fine with picture-in-picture on free YouTube tier on my iPad, so why do I need...
Yeah, it's I don't use the downloads function because
Neither do I.
I used to back when we did more family road trips, but because now it's mostly just me in the car and I'm the one driving. Yeah, I don't use background play that much anymore.
Usually when I was
the downloads feature.
Usually when I was out, usually whenever I'm on road trips, I'm either driving, or else or even when I'm in the car in general. Like I've been this way since like 2016 or 2017. I've usually always been just looking at my surroundings just to see what the world is like surrounding me from the car.
Well, I've always had a bad view because I hate being in the back seat. I can't. The view I get in the back seat is just bad, and so as a result, I don't like to just look at my surroundings that much if I'm in the back seat on a road trip, and so that's when I'll default to the device. It's just so. But I'm not typically in the back seat anymore because ever since I picked up Stardust, everybody wants to do road trips in that car because it's the most efficient vehicle here. And so that means I'm typically driving.
I'm trying to remember the only time I was ever in the, I have been in the back seat like once or twice, maybe 3 times this year when I went out to eat with my grandmother and aunt, and we took my grandmother's car. But otherwise, I literally never ride in the back seat anymore. Like I've been riding the front seat since 2018 for the most part. Because that was when I actually started out because we needed to take my old bike into the shop in my dad's car, and so I had to sit in the front seat at that point, and that was when I was already, for reference, I was already like 5'3", I think 5'4" when I started sitting in the front seat. So when I was 10, so it took my mom quite a lot of convincing in order to let me sit in the front seat at first, but
Yeah,
she eventually caved.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on that, at least. So, what do we have in the rumor territory here? We've got Apple may leave iPad Pro without major upgrades for years.
Wow, again, just proving why the iPad Pro does why there only needs one iPad, and this is also kind of sad given that the biggest upgrade the iPad Pro got was in 2018, and that was coming up on this fall coming up on 8 years ago. I was still in elementary school back then, for reference.
I mean, even then, when you think about it, too, does the iPad Pro seriously need any more upgrades given how they treat it?
That's true. Exactly. Given that in the 2018 iPad Pro released before I ran to my main YouTube channel's tech channel, because I rebranded that channel to a tech channel in December 2018.
Yeah. It's not like the. I mean, it's always bad to leave something going stagnant because then the competition can catch up and overtake you. But I mean, we've seen the competition for so many years just try to get on the level of the iPad. And they've never really come close at all.
So it's not like Apple has any need to.
Yeah, there's no incentive to because the competition doesn't do anything better. Maybe on price, but in terms of feature set, nobody else can offer anything similar to the iPad. And don't even get me started on like the Windows tablets either. Those are just hot garbage.
Oh yeah, exactly. And a lot of times Surface tablets have expanding batteries anyway too.
Well, even the non-Microsoft tablets, the non-Microsoft Windows tablets, because Samsung makes a Windows tablet too. But the problem is a lot of them will go for ARM chips for power efficiency because they don't have a lot of space to shove a big battery like they do in a laptop. But the problem is when they go for an ARM chip, they run into so many compatibility problems because Windows, we've tried this for so many years, Windows is just not optimized for ARM.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, my grandma texted our family group chat because I send my family links to my YouTube videos whenever I release them, like I do with the podcast group chat. And my grandma replied that she saw an interview about the MacBook Neo on TV today. So apparently, it's even making the circles of old people.
Yeah. Dude, that what a showstopper.
Now you can't say Macs are too expensive.
No, you legitimately cannot anymore. Your old video you made how many years ago talking about the problem with Macs and their pricing, that is now invalid.
Unless you're looking for like a $300 laptop, but at that point, you don't want a laptop for that cheap.
Yeah, at that point, just get an iPad.
Exactly, but that's.
Speaking of iPads and MacBooks.
The late 2026 MacBook Pro is rumored to have a new touch-friendly UI that will summon when the screen is touched. Steve Jobs is rolling over in his grave right now.
I hate using that expression because we truly never would know, but I mean, this is one of those things that we've already proven that touchscreen laptops are just not that practical. Hardly anybody. I like to use my mom for this scenario because she is legitimately the average Joe, and her last laptop was a 2-in-1 flip around tablet laptop hybrid things. She tried it out and absolutely hated it because it made for a really bad tablet. Because it's Windows, obviously. And even when it was in laptop mode, she never touched the screen.
The only time I ever use a touchscreen on a Windows computer is sometimes on my Toshiba Windows 7 desktop that has a touchscreen, and that's just because whenever I don't have a keyboard or mouse connected to it. Which again, but the only real scenarios that are going to be using touchscreens on desktops are maybe for kiosks. Because there is actually a touchscreen iMac G3 that you can buy that was made by a third-party modification company that was designed for kiosks.
Who's gonna put a Mac in a kiosk machine though?
Some people did with the iMac G3. Because again,
that's more of an enthusiast. But I'm talking like legit modern day kiosk. Who's going to put a Mac in a kiosk?
Oh, no one now. Because nowadays they'll just use iPads. Yeah. But the iMac G3, the touchscreen one, that was back in... Think back to around Y2K. For that was when that was done, so...
No, it's never made sense for... I mean... There's plenty of reasons. There's the hand fatigue, which is the primary one that Apple pointed out.
Well, Steve Jobs.
But then there's... Yeah. But then there's the other aspects where, okay, sure, they're trying to address this by making it fat finger friendly. Though I found just the more you make it fat finger friendly, the worse it is for precision-based tasks.
Exactly. And if you want it to be fat finger friendly, I don't know, there's a device for that. It's called the iPad, which they can maybe just improve the iPad Pro software instead.
That's what I prefer. And just in general, there's too many PC hardware enthusiasts out there that like to act like people legitimately care about having a touchscreen in their laptop. And so when you ask them, the PC enthusiasts that do have touchscreens on their laptops, the majority of the time they never use them. They might touch it on the occasion, but they hardly ever do it. So, wow, you're spending an extra... In Dell's case, it's usually a $300-ish upcharge for it because, at least on their higher-end products. But you're spending so much money on a feature you're almost never going to use. What a waste.
And the touchscreen probably is part of the reason why it's getting a price hike. It's probably not the main reason, but
I mean, considering my XPS, it did have a touchscreen available at the time. And the reason why I didn't get it not only was because it was a $300 upcharge. I mean, I would have liked to have upgraded the panel potentially to something higher than 1080p, because 1080p at 17 inches, you can count pixels on it if you get close enough. Though I primarily bought it because I knew I was going to plug it into... I was going to dock it the entire time. I was hardly ever going to use the display, but... no, it would have been nice to have been able to get the 4K OLED panel that had a touchscreen built into it. But honest, if they had an option to do 4K and OLED without the touchscreen, I would have gone non-touch. I never touch the screen on a laptop. Even when I do use a laptop, be it my grandpa's or back when my mom was still using that old one. Thankfully, that thing is finally dead and in the garbage. Whenever I've had access to a touchscreen laptop, never used it. Even when and it wasn't because I didn't know it had a touchscreen. I knew it had a touchscreen. Had no interest in using it.
Exactly, but in other news, we're out of topics. And we were worried that we were going to...
Such a long list.
We were worried that we were not going to have enough time to finish them all. Now we have almost an hour left.
Yeah, that's crazy. I need sleep. I've lost like 5 hours over this whole week trying to upload all these videos. Oh, actually, I was going to ask this. With my last 2 videos, did you notice anything different about them?
Nope.
The audio didn't sound better?
I didn't notice anything, but I'm also not an audiophile.
Huh.
And I wasn't looking
Because I
for
changed
it.
up my microphone.
What microphone are you using now? Oh!
I'm not even joking. So, the last 2 videos I did, I had this open on the table over there with OBS recording just to capture audio. And then I synced it to the video on my phone. So I thought I would do something to help, because I've especially learned with my teleprompter. I broke it out for the second video because I actually had time to script, which is a rarity normally, but because I had time to script, I broke out the teleprompter. But a problem with the teleprompter is when I use my phone with it, well, I also end up covering up the microphone in the process, because now there's this pane of glass in front of it, and then the bag and everything else, and as a result, the microphone gets covered, and my okay-ish audio is now sounding worse. And you can definitely tell with older videos that I've made with the teleprompter, the audio is definitely worse than without the teleprompter. And so I figured, all right, let's break this thing out with its studio quality microphones. I paid $2,500 for this thing. I'm going to get its value out of it. Let's put the studio mics to use. And so that's what I did for the last 2 videos.
So they sound pretty nice.
So that's what I'm doing for an audio solution right now, although now that I finally actually have an okay, like, actually decent microphone that not too many people are going to complain about, I guess now I kind of have to treat the room for sound, because there are reverberations everywhere in here.
I don't even know what reverberations are.
Echoes, sound bouncing off walls, just,
Oh yeah, I my ears don't really detect any of that, but I also don't really look for that. But to be fair, my biggest issue of sound is just making sure that there's no loud cars that pass by outside my house, no cats that meow at me from inside from the other room.
Well, it's a good thing where I'm moving, where I'm going to be moving to in a few years, once the house is built. It'll be even more quiet than this area, because I won't be that close to a main road. So.
Yeah, I don't live on a main road, and yet I swear it happens almost every video where there's a loud car that passes by my house. Because, for reference, my room is very close to the street.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose it also does help that this house has a long driveway, so we're a good solid distance from the actual road itself. But, oh no, we hear snowmobiles and exhaust leak pickup trucks and all the above go by.
Well, you're also in the top story of your house, which helps a little bit too. So, as my house only has 1 story, so my house doesn't have that many stories to tell.
Garage. Does not help that I'm over the garage. Yeah, next studio is going to be in a basement yet again. Yeah, talking about the Wi-Fi router thing, that now made me question, what am I going to do for Wi-Fi in that house? Because I do know I am actually going to wire it up with Ethernet.
Yeah, that's a good
But that doesn't.
idea.
Yeah, but I mean, the internet's only good for like TVs and desks. So, uh, not fully sure what's going to happen with that, but hmm. Reminds me, I still gotta continue finishing designing the house. I got the first floor just about done. I gotta move on to the other two floors.
All right, you're still in full swing of that.
Yep.
Alpha's all grown up now.
Yeah, I was hoping to potentially purchase the property this year, though. Now that I gotta get a second vehicle so I could drive around here in the winter, that's setting that plan back. But doesn't mean I can't continue designing. Or, I mean, luckily the landowners are literally my grandparents, so it's not like I'm at risk of it going elsewhere. So. Yeah, that reminds me. I'm heading out of town tomorrow.
What exotic journey are you going on this time? Is it to China?
Oh, no, it's a lot more predictable than that.
Is it to Wisconsin?
Yep.
Gee, I wonder where I got that idea from. Maybe it's because you go to Wisconsin just about every couple months.
I mean, all I have now are just I get one weekend off a month, typically. And so it's my one chance to get away. But again, it's only one weekend a month. So I can't go too far. I have to go somewhere that I can drive to on a Friday evening and then come back on a Sunday evening. So.
Are you going to see your grandparents?
Yeah, of course. Why else would I go?
Valid.
Yep. So
I don't think I'm going to be going. Tomorrow, I'm officially going to be leaving the house for more and just go to Subway, since tomorrow I should be returning back to school and to regular exercise. Because I woke up without a fever this morning, and I don't think I have a fever right now. I'm feeling a little bit warmer, but not quite feverish, so.
Yep. Yeah, from the sounds of it, I don't know. I just need a break from work.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, next week is spring break, so. For me, so.
Yeah, I want to say for you, not for me.
Yeah, because I'm literally going back for one day.
Yeah, I only get 2 weeks of vacation, and so far I'm reset for this year. I just have to figure out how I'm going to spend those 2 weeks.
Do you automatically get vacation days off at like big holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Oh yeah, I get paid holidays.
Ah.
At least the big holidays. So, like, if President's Day comes around, nope, I don't get that. I gotta come into work for that. But
Yeah, to be fair, most people do.
Yeah, but for Thanksgiving, for Christmas Eve and Christmas, and then New Year's. Normally you're not supposed to get Christmas Eve paid holiday for according to our company policy, but because I'm in charge of the organ at church, well, I'm kind of very much needed for that day, so I got special treatment on that. So I got a paid holiday for Christmas Eve at least. But yeah, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and 4th of July. And Memorial and Labor Day too. Those are holidays too.
Yeah, those are weekends that a lot of people travel on anyway. Because generally for school, I get MLK Day off, President's Day off, then usually we get Good Friday off for Easter. Usually get a spring break in there too. Do you get Good Friday paid?
No.
Darn it!
No, but I'm gonna have to see what I'm gonna do this year because there's 2 organists at my church, and one of them is going out of town, so I'm needed for all of it, every bit of it, and so I'm gonna be so busy. So whether my boss likes it or not, I'll be taking at least half of Thursday off. Half of Thursday. I have no idea what I'm doing Friday, but Friday I'm definitely going to be busy. At least that's my plan for that week. But other than that, no. I go in, I work, I go absolutely insane. I come home, I do this, I shower, and then lie in bed for hours upon hours.
Yeah, basically, it's kind of what I do, not exactly, but yeah. Memorial Day weekend, my school doesn't close for that doesn't technically school close for that because Memorial Day is always after the school gets out for the summer anyway, so.
Okay.
So, obviously we get 4th of July off. Labor Day weekend, we get the Monday off for that because our schools start in August, so. We usually get a day and another Monday in September off for parent-teacher conferences, although usually it's just elementary school age kids' parents that come into parent-teacher conferences. Like, not that many, but there used to be 2 parent-teacher conference days in my district, but they got rid of one of them, unsurprisingly, because my parents stopped attending. My parents never went to a parent-teacher conference again after my first semester, my second grade year, just because, just got kind of pointless.
Oh, my mom is not happy right now with school and all. I just learned today that apparently some of her students failed her class. I mean, in fairness, the students are actually pretty bad. They are bad students.
Yeah.
But they failed her class so bad. She's going to have to see them again next year.
If they fail don't they have time to get their grades up?
From what I'm hearing, they were bad at turning their homework in. So they get dinged heavily on the late policy, and she doesn't. It's reasonable to have a late policy.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to argue on that because that makes it harder on the teacher too. They got all of this grading stuff to do. No, it should be fair that you should get an automatic 0 if you can't finish your crap on time.
Same.
It's the same case even at a job. You got to be timely with your job. So. But a lot of them did not get the message on that, and so they ended up getting automatic 0s on a lot of their homework. They did terrible on the tests, and apparently some were exempted from an exam or whatever due to I don't really recall the reason, but no, some of them, their grades are so low that they failed the class. And it's the end of the trimester this week.
What's a trimester at your?
So you're probably used to quarters and semesters.
Yes.
trimesters are basically divided into 3.
Oh, so your school does does your school. Oh, so your school year is divided into thirds
Well,
or
I did
6?
not attend that. I did not attend that school, but the school my mom teaches at, yes, they divide it into thirds. They divide it into trimesters.
Huh. That sounds like that'd make grading hard, but
Yeah, but so yeah, she's real happy with like Gen Alpha, man. They just don't care.
I mean exactly. I mean to be fair though, usually in my school district, you think if the kids failed the class, like you think that the first thing they would do is try to give the kids a different teacher, just see if that would help.
Well, the funny thing is, my mom really is not asking all that much of them. It's really basic stuff. Just turn your work in on time, and just do it.
Does she give time in class to do it?
Oh, plenty
Oh,
of time.
okay.
But they just waste it. All they want to do is, her words, not mine, grind the chromies.
So they want to grind the Chromebooks.
Basically play video games on the Chromebooks. That's all they want to do. And because of that, she's had to stop doing work on the computer, teaching lessons on the computer, and hand it all out in paper so they'd stop switching to their gaming tabs. It's gotten that bad. They're literally gaming in class, not paying attention. So it's like, no wonder why they're failing their quizzes. They're not paying attention in class, and they don't know how to do the homework.
In my U.S. history class last semester, there were kids that would often play games on their iPads while my teacher was teaching too. So,
but I mean, the scores are reflecting their behavior. So I'm not shocked that a few of them are going to end up being held back, and they're going to be quite embarrassed.
oh wait a second, they're 8th graders, right?
Was it 8th or 10th grade? Oh, I can't remember. It was either 8th or 10th grade.
If they're 8th graders, then that's gonna hold back their chance to start high school.
Yeah, it's gonna be embarrassing.
Because if you get held back a grade, then that literally impacts your life all the way until you're in your late 20s.
Yeah, so.
Because once you get in your late 20s, then I mean,
Alpha
having
just
one year job experience doesn't really matter. But yeah, no, that. But also, if you get held back a year after, I mean, we were held back when we were both held back when we started. But if you get held back a year that late, then colleges and trade schools are gonna, and really workplaces, they're all gonna look at that and go, I wonder if these are really competent workers or not.
Well, based off the fact that when you try to instruct them on how to do something super simple and they're grinding the chromies. Well,
yeah, let's say, I think honestly a bigger problem with schoolwork is that it's hard for schools to actually incentivize kids to do work when, think about it, kids have no financial incentives to work on schoolwork.
I'm still genuinely shocked that the teachers let me bring this in. Because I brought this to school back when I went to public school. I had this before COVID came in, and COVID was what ended my public schooling life.
I mean, my teachers let me bring my MacBook to school too if I want to. Technically, according to school, I don't usually because it's very heavy. My MacBook is very heavy, but I have brought my Mac, and my MacBook also does not like to connect to my school's Wi-Fi for whatever reason, but I have brought, and technically you are supposed to use your school iPads, but and everybody does that. But yeah, you can't technically bring your I can't technically bring my MacBook to school.
Well, the reason why I'm surprised is because they are so... They've always been so locked down on smartphones need to be kept in lockers. When you take a test, you're not even allowed to wear a smartwatch. They are so down on that type of stuff. And they monitor everything. They watch out for playing games on Chromebooks and all that. And so I am really surprised that they actually let me take this in to do my schoolwork. And I mean, I'll say this much. I gave them the reason why I want to bring my own computer here is because the internet at my house sucks something fierce, which hopefully soon it won't when we get Starlink fully hooked up. But because my internet was so bad, it was hindering my ability to do my schoolwork. And so that's why I wanted it to do it on this, offline, so I am not limited by my internet connection to do my schoolwork.
Well, it also seemed like you were a bit more of a trustworthy student in school, so it seems like teachers probably would have known that you probably weren't going to goof off in gaming class.
I mean, come to think of it, I was not teacher's pet, but I was very close. So...
Yeah, you had all A's when you were in school, right? Or A- specifically.
I averaged an A-, so.
Yeah, so you had pretty decent grades. So it seemed like for the most part you had a relatively clean disciplinary record. So they probably trusted you. If the teachers probably trusted you, if I had to guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always been averaging an A or A-. It's sometimes there'll be a B slipped in there if I end up struggling through one topic and it'll just set me back. But no, I've always had very good grades.
Yeah, I haven't had anything but an A as one of my final grades since 7th grade. And I don't remember what all my final grades were in 7th grade, I'll be honest. Because I was homeschooling, because I didn't necessarily... I cannot read something and just understand it that easily. I just can't do that. And also because, I mean, to be honest, I was much more passionate about my YouTube channel back then. So my grades in 7th grade weren't that great. But I had a C in Spanish. I remember that. It was 78 in 7th grade. But otherwise, I think most of my grades in 7th grade were okay. They were like usually A's and B's. And then in 8th grade, I had B's as some of my quarterly grades in the first semester because, well, I partially had some missing assignments, and I also missed a ton of school that first semester because I was sick. Well, that was also when I got the flu. But I still wound up having all my final grades be A's in 8th grade, and I've only had one B as a quarterly grade in high school, which was my junior year in math class.
Yeah, for me, the hardest is always math. It's just, all it takes is to miss one detail, and you get the whole thing wrong, and it's so easy to screw up math.
Yeah, my academic abilities vary depending on it really depends on what kind of subject it is, too, because, like, when I was in elementary school, I was almost entirely the king of math. Like, I could do math like I was one of the most advanced kids in my school. I could do math like that. And then middle school, again, because I had to be homeschooled for 2 years, I never really got the opportunity to excel that well in academics in middle school, or to be recognized necessarily that well for it. But I did. It was a little bit more confusing, because then we started doing algebra and whatnot. But it was still, middle school math was okay. And then 9th grade math. Oh boy, that was such a hard class. I don't know how I got an A in that one, but I did. And then 10th grade math was okay, still a little bit harder than 11th grade math. It was okay.
Yeah, for me, math was math was my hardest class, but then also there are some teachers in other classes that grade you based off of your ability to take notes. And I am by far the single worst note taker out there.
Oh, one thing that I can't understand at all why teachers love making you do this is in English class, my English teacher loves making us annotate so much, and I hate annotating so much. And the reason why I hate annotating so much is just because first of all, like, the point of reading a text is so that we can soak in all the content of the text itself without having to distract with little distracting notes, which is what annotating is. Like, whenever I have to annotate text, I will annotate just as little as possible to make it look like I actually am annotating, but then I annotate just enough so that way it looks like I'm actually trying.
Yeah, I've just always hated when they graded you on your note-taking abilities. I mean, do you have any classes that grade you on your ability to take notes?
No. Sometimes we can get, in U.S. history, we could get extra credit for taking notes, but no.
I had it happen to me in algebra.
Oh, in Algebra 2 and Geometry, we got graded based off our ability to take notes. Although, to be fair,
yeah, for me, it got so bad, and I had legit had to ask, can I take my phone, leave it on your desk, and after class, take a picture of your notes because I cannot get it in my notebook fast enough.
Oh, and in no. Yeah, in algebra. Yeah, now in algebra 2 and geometry, because I had the same teacher for that, we had to. All she literally did was she gave us the notes and no ability that we had to follow along very fast, mind you, and just basically fill in the blanks. So it was decently easy to fill in, but it was a little bit fast. But yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, why couldn't we have just got... But at the same time, why couldn't we have just had the notes filled out anyway to save time? But...
No, I've always hated on... I understand, yes, note-taking is important, but you're now adding a lot more stress. It's like, you're... that. Not everybody can write as fast as you on a... You've had plenty of years of experience... I'm referring to the teachers. Teachers have had plenty of years of experience to be able to write fast on a whiteboard.
And also, they're kind of enthused...
A teenager sitting in class.
And they're also kind of... And what I think the big mark that teachers fail to realize is that teachers are kind of enthusiasts in the subject they teach, whereas students are not.
And that's another thing, too. Because they know it and they've done it a million times, yeah, they can write it instantly from the top of off the top of their head. They can do it that quickly because it's natural to them. Versus us, we have no idea what it is the heck you just did. We gotta process what you did and then write it in our notebooks, because we can't just write in our notebooks and not understand why we're doing it, because at that point it's just a gargly gook mess. It's ridiculous. And I told this to my teacher straight up, so okay, if you want me to copy everything you have on the whiteboard, I need a picture. Otherwise, there is no way I can get these on my... I cannot write fast enough. As ridiculous as it sounded, but...
Luckily...
I can't do it. I can't write it fast enough.
Luckily, in Algebra 2 and Chemistry last semester when we had to take notes, luckily my teachers there did also offer like the guides to take notes to where if you missed them, or that you could catch back up with them, but... Yeah, no, I totally get what you're talking about.
So, that was something that always irritated me, and I've always lost so many points on because my note-taking skills are atrocious.
Yeah, but
I was very surprised that I was able to do as well as I did when I had to go to college for a semester, which was, yeah, in case anyone's wondering why I got this, it's because the iPad Pro here. That was why I got it. It was for that semester of college.
Oh, did I forget to tell you that I'm technically going to college as well?
What for?
Next year I'm doing dual enrollment English and math, so...
Yep.
So technically I'm going to college for that.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, it is honestly going to college to study computer science. I mean, it is tempting, I'll say that, but at the same time I still don't entirely want to do that.
Yeah, for me, I just can't justify the money.
Yeah, same.
It's absolutely outrageous. So, but I mean, my mom in particular, really wanted me to go. She wanted me to go so bad. And
My mom really wants me to go so badly too.
On one hand, I understand. Yeah, they want me to be successful in life, but do they have any idea how much it costs to go to college? And then I suck when it comes to being pressured by time. I am bad with time pressure. I just can't crunch numbers like that. I can't crunch all of that information because it's another reason why I typically don't like to do videos covering press releases. It's because you're on a time crunch to get it out as soon as possible, because if you don't get that news out as soon as possible, you're instantly irrelevant, and all that work you put into it is all for nothing. Nobody cares anymore. It's old news. So that means, okay, I need to get this done now. But I can only work so fast, and as a result, these videos often take me well into the overnight hours, and I lose so much sleep over it. And I can't compromise quality. I just cannot do it. I cannot compromise quality. And so I'm either making the decision now is it worth losing this much sleep over it? I didn't go to bed until 2 a.m. last night for the MacBook Neo.
Yikes. It was worth it, though. I can say that.
Have you seen the view count on it lately?
I enjoyed it, though.
I mean, yeah, it's a good video, but yesterday's video, the covering the new MacBooks and the monitors, 162 views. Granted, it's had 24 hours to accumulate that. My latest video, 31.
Some videos are just like that. It's a gamble.
I don't know. It's the biggest news ever. The first time Apple has released a laptop that cheap. And yet, nobody watched the video.
Probably because everybody else is talking about it too, but... Like, to be honest, the only people's videos I watch about press releases are usually yours. Just because I get bombarded with stuff. Sometimes I watch Quinn from Santa's Labs' video on it, but otherwise I don't really watch videos of press releases just because I get so heavily bombarded with them. And my videos and press releases generally don't do that well either.
Yeah, it's obviously now a decision of, is it worth losing sleep over? And I was hoping with the MacBook Neo that would definitely be the case, because, I mean, again, it's literally the biggest news in such a long time.
It made my video so outdated. It made my video outdated.
Yeah.
The video that you made...
video reacting to yourself in irony.
Oh my gosh. So, maybe I should watch that video again sometime.
Yeah, you should do a reaction video to that.
You know, I was going to do a video on why the iPhone 17 Pro sales are so good, because we're kind of trapped to that, but, you know, that video is kind of one I've already talked about in my review video, so, you know, maybe I will have to make a video reacting to the...
Because I also remember some time ago, long before we started doing this, you had made a video talking about why you thought electric cars were a silly idea.
Yes! I eventually did make a video repealing that, though.
You did, but my goodness, did that video age like sour milk.
That was such a good. Yeah, electric cars are not the future. Oh my gosh. That was quite a. Jordan Riddles actually commented on that video saying Tesla and electric cars are still evolving, and oh boy, was he right.
Yes.
Just wish he'd come back to YouTube.
Are they so impressive now?
Really?
You know that would always those will always make great content. Reacting to videos that age like milk. That's why I like That's why I like making those prediction videos, even though they're pointless and there's no point to them at all. Nobody cares. It's just funny to watch.
Exactly.
Watch just some of the rumors age like milk, and it's funny to laugh at myself. Wow, 2025 version of me, you are such an idiot.
I always usually get my predictions videos that I do for Apple. They always wind up being mostly right though.
My 2024 predictions were so off. They were so far off.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is funny to think about. Just all the videos we made in the past that aged like milk.
I don't know what video of mine has aged the worst.
I'm kind of curious which of mine has aged the worst.
I think I stay in iOS 13 rumors video that I made back in early 2019 that the iPhone 6 would get iOS 13. That obviously became very outdated actually pretty quickly. What else aged like milk? The rebrand to iApple Tree, that definitely became aged like milk.
Yeah, that didn't last long.
No. Obviously, the videos that we mentioned already, those have aged like milk. The video that I unboxed, the Quip electric toothbrush that my dad got for me, that aged like milk, because as it discovers that toothbrush has literally no power.
Oh.
The video. So I went back to my old Orbi one. The video where I unboxed my Lark thermos, although that I gave to my mom because I just didn't like drinking out of that much. So.
Could I say my Google Bard video?
Remember Bard?
I'm scrolling through my list of videos here. Could I say Google Bard as one of my videos that aged like milk?
Yeah, because you actually seemed a little bit interested in AI at that point.
I did. And now I clearly want nothing to do with it.
And more importantly, does anybody here remember what Bard was?
I don't think so. But yeah, I made that video 2 years ago at least. And no, yeah, today I want nothing to do with the AI BS.
I think it came out in 2023 because I remember asking Bard about my middle school, and I haven't been to middle school since 2023. Well, I haven't been a student of middle school since 2023, so. By the way, we are almost out of recording time, and somebody does have to go to school tomorrow.
Maybe my 13 Pro Max unboxing video, because it turned out I hardly use the phone that much. I don't know.
Yeah. At my age, like milk, yeah.
Let's see.
I don't think it aged nearly as badly as John Prosser's bat.
No.
Speaking of, where is it, John? Where is it?
I don't know. There's my video of reacting to yours about the Max being a terrible value.
That's not quite that didn't age quite as bad though.
No, that no. No, and I still stand by that video, so I still fully stand by it. Let's see.
Oh, I know my video that aged like milk. How to install iOS 10 on the iPad 3. That was literally just changing the wallpaper. And then adding a couple of icons. Yeah, that video aged like milk, but that video got lots of dislikes, understandably. But yeah, shall we go ahead and conclude the show now? Because it is 7:58 p.m. Meaning that's 8:58 p.m. for you.
Yeah, I'd say so. Honestly, I really don't have many. I think I'm gonna nominate the Bard the Bard video as the one that aged like milk. That's the best I've got.
Yeah, mine is probably the iOS how to install iOS 10 on iPad 3 video. That's probably the worst one, but or no, actually my video predicting my video on electric cars, how they're not the future. Yeah, that video aged like hell.
That is so hilarious because that was a full character development going on there. That one by far is the single.
And then I made an entire video contradicting that.
Yeah. It was so bad you had to make an entire video.
Granted, that was several years later, but still.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you all for viewing another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Tay-Macker from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
And as always, we're saying peace out for now and hope to see you all in the next episode. Take care, everyone.